Welcome back, everybody. We are on our main event for episode 209. This is called The Spot on the Card, and this is going to be based off of the team that won the very first ever Survivor Series match on the Survivor Series 1987 card. That is Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And if you don't know what Call the Spot is, let me give you a quick little breakdown here. It's basically our version of the Marry, Fuck, Kill game. You gotta rank these people in a certain order, and you can't double up on anything. You can't add some new people into it or whatever. These are your five, and the five different ranks that you gotta put them in order in. At the very top, main event. Underneath that is mid-card, directly in the middle. Upper mid-card, then you got the mid-card in the middle. Jobber is the second to the last one, and the fifth final one at the very bottom, released. The person that actually gets fired from the company. And as I said, those are the five that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to throw in the losers there in a little bit too, but we're going to be focusing more on the winners here. A lot of people that have had good careers in the company, many titles that they've won between intercontinental titles, world titles, tag titles, etc. Some of them, not so much as some of the other ones too, as well. But we're going to go person to person here, and we're going to give our little released jobber and stuff working upward. Released, the very first thing, bottom of the card, who gets fired from the company. Peyton, I'm going to start off with you. Who out of this list would you end up getting rid of?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Ooh.
Guy had a lot of demons at the time. He was starting to go into the waning part of his career. I think he had to get some time to get his shit together. Talking about that before. That was a guy who really needed to get his shit together at that time. So Jake Roberts would have to go.
Man. Did not expect that one. Wago, who you releasing?
Well, I understand that Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake were friends, so that's why I'd get rid of him.
Brutus Beefcake?
Yeah.
Just for that reason?
Yeah.
Good enough, I guess. You are in creative control. If anybody says anything, you just go, well, too bad.
You're fired too.
Drew, who's getting released on your end?
The man who's getting released on my end is Brutus Beefcake. Because looking back on history, he wasn't that much of a beefcake, if you really think about it. And that's false infringement, so getting rid of him.
He was much more of a beefcake than he was a barber.
Is false infringement a real term?
No.
Didn't think so.
False advertisement?
I'm pretty sure that's something where you got to go to the Department of Headquarters to register.
I think he just had a Ricky moment.
Kaylin, who's getting released from your list?
Oh, I'm going to make it a three-peat. It's going to be Brutus the Beef Barber Cake on my end. Never been a fan.
I got to make this 4 out of 5. Brutus the Barber Beefcake gets released on my end. He's just not as good as the other people. I mean, I can't really remember any great matches that he's had. I can't really remember loving any particular promos. I mean, the most memorable thing that he's ever done was stand next to Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, as far as I'm concerned.
No, dude, he's cut people's hair.
Never cut my hair. Although I wouldn't really remember him from that anyway. Brutus Beefcake, though, he gets the axe. Then we move up to Jobber. And I'm going to just do this kind of the opposite route here. I'm going to go with this one. I'm jobbing out Hacksaw. He's, again, it's a situation where you look at the other people. I think that all of them are better in the ring. All of them are better on the mic. They all have better characters. They all have more of a longevity to them. And at the same time, they all are more credible. And it sucks that you can say that about somebody because it is scripted. But Hacksaw Jim Duggan, his highlight really was winning that Royal Rumble. And that was before the Royal Rumble really meant something. Since then, I mean, he didn't even win the Intercontinental title. He never won the tag title. He didn't win anything in WWE. He won some stuff in WCW and elsewhere. As far as WWE is concerned, though, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's always been kind of a hack. He gets the jobber spot for me. Kaylin, who's the jobber?
I am agreeing. I am putting Hacksaw Jim Duggan in that jobber spot. I've always been a fan of the character. I've liked him. It's always fun to see him coming out and doing his thing. But he doesn't really. I couldn't put him in the mid card or higher, so I'm putting him in the jobber, and I'm going with Jim the Hacksaw Duggan for jobber.
Way go.
Well, out of other people I could see being friends with Hogan, Jim Duggan seems like a guy that'd be friends with Hulk Hogan, so he's a jobber.
Basing this all on Hogan.
Yeah. He's the only thing that was important during that time anyway.
Drew, who's your jobber?
This is a tough one. I'm going to make it Jake the Snake because this snake will tap out eventually.
Just what's the rationale behind this?
No. Just let it go. Just let it go, Joe.
No, I'm not gonna let this one go. Go ahead, Drew.
Please, let it go, dude.
No, why Jake the Snake is the jobber? Come on, man. Give us more to go by here. We're not just gonna go through this whole thing and say because Snake's gonna tap out and because somebody's friends with Hogan.
Well, the main reason why is because I don't know the whole list. I just know Jake the Snake's on it, so I'm going to go one by one until I figure out the whole list.
So, to let you guys know, this list has been said 4 different times. It's in the chat right now, and Drew still doesn't know what it is. Drew can also go on Wikipedia and look up the Survivor Series 1987 team.
You probably forgot which one it was.
Well, he could also look in the chat. Because Drew's going to have to figure out that kind of stuff because he can't just make up 3 more people.
He's too busy looking up Shrek videos.
So, Drew, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, and you can not only think of who's
I will
on this.
choose Jim Duggan, maybe because this whole trade is not around yet.
What?
Were those words?
Okay. I think that's a better answer than before, right? All right, let's go.
That's
yeah. Fuck.
Moving
Fuck
on.
asked of you not to do it.
Should have listened to me.
What's wrong with you? Are you happy with yourself?
Very much. Because now, what we've accomplished right now, Drew just got some more votes for the worst co-host of the year.
If anything, I provided commentary and laughter. If anything,
You provided commentary.
Listen, I'm doing my fucking job here. I'm comic relief. I've never asked to be more than that. The only thing I've asked is to be the fucking co-host of the Tony panel, which never can fucking happen.
This is what we get when we record 2 shows back to back. Peyton, who's your jobber? Tell me it's somebody that's actually on the list.
Rick Steiner.
Yeah, my jobber is Brutus the Barber Beefcake because he is a jabroni, and that's where he belongs. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer. That's all I got for you.
He's not much of a beefcake as well.
So, mid-card is actually when you start getting into the good stuff. I mean, it's not great, but it's still good. Somebody who can be sticking around for quite a while, win some decent matches, maybe even get a title. You never know. Peyton, who's your mid-carder?
My mid-carder would be Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's a guy who the crowd likes a lot. He can go out there and play to them and have a lot of fun. And he could still sell some merchandise. He could sell those foam wooden boards that they have. So
Foam wooden ones?
Yeah.
It's one of them
Well,
glass
like,
steel ones.
Well, they were foam, but they were made to look like wood.
I promise only 2 of us have done drugs for this podcast.
It's funny.
Try to figure out which 2. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I don't know. We don't have a list of who's on the panel.
Pretty sure everyone thinks Drew is on it.
So, backtracking that, Drew, who is your mid-carder?
Well, going back to the previous statement, as I said, Jim Duggan is now my...
Jim Duggan.
Sorry, I'm tired, and I took my sleeping medication a while ago, so just give me a sec here. I'm gonna go with Jake this Snake Roberts, mainly because listen, he has a snake. That snake could be used to be sold as foam snakes, so he is gonna be my mid-carder.
This is what the 4th Tuesday show that we've done in a while. We got through the predictions fine.
Well, you learned a
Fine.
valuable lesson today that we should do this every week.
Waco, who was your mid-carder?
Well, you see, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat seems a pretty neutral person in general, so when it comes to Hogan, I think you'd be pretty neutral on him.
Any rationality more than the Hogan thing?
Nah?
You can tell who put a lot of thought into this list and who didn't.
This is actually,
Well,
this is actually
here's the thing.
in all seriousness, this is actually the order I'd put him in, but it just happens to work out for Hogan.
The thing is, you told us we were doing this like
Yeah, we did
30
kind of do
minutes
this on the
ago,
fly.
so
That's what happens when WWE doesn't tell us what the hell's going on with their fucking matches. They ruin 2 weeks worth of shows when it
you
comes to
tell me,
this.
and you're having me do something that of a match I've never seen before. So, to be honest with you,
You know
I'm
these
just
people,
going.
don't you?
Yeah, I know who these guys
Yeah,
are.
that-
I mean, fuck.
You don't
we
need
have
to have seen
Ricky
the
the
match.
Yeah.
We have the Hoe Train. We have a Beefcake. We got a Macho. We have a Snake. That's a foam, by the way. And we have the Steam.
Galen, who's your
Well,
mid-carder? Save us.
I'm going to go with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on this one. That's another guy that is always a total badass, fun in the ring. I've liked him a lot. And I think of everywhere on the slot, mid-card suits him best. So I'm going with Ricky the Steam Dragon Boat.
I gotta go with that old Steamboat as well for my mid-carder. He's somebody who's good in the ring. He had that Intercontinental Championship match, which everybody goes nuts over. Good match. But at the same time, can't buy him as the main eventer. And if you can't buy him as the main eventer, he not only shouldn't be in the main event, he also kind of doesn't need to be in the upper mid-card if you have two other people that can fill in that spot. So, like him, don't love him. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat gets that mid-card spot for me. Upper mid-carder. Now, it's going to seem weird when it comes to Peyton's end of the thing, but I'm going Jake the Snake Roberts. And yeah, he had his demons and stuff. He also had 23. I think he had 3 of those. But Jake the Snake was somebody who they did make him a huge deal. I mean, he should have won some kind of championship at some point along the line. He was somebody who could have a WrestleMania match with The Undertaker. He could have feuds with The Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage and stuff, and you would buy him as a legitimate opponent against him instead of somebody who was just a jobber and stuff. So I think that Jake the Snake really, I can't speak to whether or not he could have gotten any kind of like any of his demons in check or anything like that, but if I'm going to look at this list, Jake the Snake Roberts is the one that makes the most sense for me for the upper mid card. And we're going to backtrack this opposite way, go like a snake. Kalen, who's your upper mid carder?
It looks like we have very similar lists. I'm also going with Jake the Snake Roberts in my upper mid card. I'm kind of not even counting the behind the scenes kind of stuff. I'm just going totally on kayfabe. I think Jake the Snake is one of those guys that is very intriguing. You know, he's totally over with the crowd. People tuned in and cared what he was saying. And I think upper mid card suits him best. So I'm going upper mid card is Jake Snake the Roberts.
Wago, whose relation to Hulk Hogan is good enough that they can be in the upper mid card?
Alright, so I think Jake Roberts just hates life in general. So, like, he doesn't have a special hate for Hogan, so he's in the upper mid card.
Drew?
My upper mid card is going to be Randy Savage, and the reason why he's going to be in the upper mid card is when he was in WWE, he was always the number 2 to a certain man called Hulk Hogan, so he's going to be my number 2 here. So, yeah.
Peyton?
My upper mid card would be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This guy had a lot of talent. The crowd did like him a lot. He just didn't quite have all the tools to be the guy, but he was a guy that you could slot in there when you have a big heel and the crowd would be behind enough to have a good quality main event match.
So now, before we get into our main event section, because, I mean, we kind of already said who's going to be in the main event, stuff like that, but if you lost track, good. That would give us a reason to go back a little bit later on. We're going to talk about the other 5 people that had lost the match. Now, we're definitely not as familiar with 2 of those people, if not 3 of them, so we weren't going to make this a whole big separate section and something like that, but the people that had lost the match against them were Danny Davis, Honky Tonk Man, Hercules, Ron Bass, and Harley Race. If you were going to rank these guys in the order, what would your order be? Anybody want to throw out an order like that and just go down the whole list? Don't need to go back and forth.
I will. My release would be Harley Race. My jobber would be Danny Davis. My mid card would be Ron Bass. My upper mid card would be the Honky Tonk Man, and my main eventer would be Hercules. Because to be honest with you, no one's gonna defeat fucking Hercules.
Wago, Peyton, Kalen, anybody else have a list that they want to throw out there?
Did you really just make Harley Race your jobber?
Yeah, because he's not Hercules.
Asshole.
Well, actually, I made correction. I made it my release.
Alright, so if I'm going to release anyone, it's going to be Honky Tonk Man. He's a fucking asshole. For my jobber, Ron Bass. Don't like Bass. Terrible fish. Nightmare Danny Davis, I'll put as a mid-card just because I like the stories about how much his chops hurt. Hercules, upper mid-card. He's big. And Harley Race was the man, so main event.
Yeah, I'm with Waco. Honky Tonk Man was a big asshole, so he gets released. Jobber, I would do referee Danny Davis because that's exactly what he was, and he was good for that role. Mid-card, I would do Ron Bass because that's a good place for a cowboy like that. You can always use a cowboy around. Upper mid, Harley Race because he was really in the twilight part of his career at this point. Still a guy you could do a lot with and have some fun matches, but he was a far cry from what he used to be. And the main event, Hercules Hernandez. Yo, this guy is awesome. I don't know why we haven't done like whole episodes dedicated to this guy. Superstar scores Hercules Hernandez. I am pushing that one now.
Hey, listen, I've been pushing that one all along, too. No one's going to defeat a guy named fucking Hercules.
Hades might.
How come they've never done a wrestler named Hades? They totally
Pretty
missed
sweet.
the boat. They totally missed the boat on that. They
He's
did
like the
Zeus.
next Undertaker type of thing.
They
They
did
missed
Zeus.
the Steamboat.
Yeah.
Kalen, do you got a ranking for these?
I don't necessarily have a ranking, but I'm going to say my top two are Hercules and Harley Race. I got to put them above the other three. As far as how I would rank the other three or those two, I'm not really sure. I'd have to think about it some more, but Harley Race and Hercules above the other three.
You know, you could just do what we did and don't think about it.
Okay, Hercules 1, Harley Race 2, Ron Bass 3, Danny Davis 4, Honky Tonk Man 5. There we go.
Man,
Well,
on
this
the
isn't
tape
a
for
top
Honky
5
Tonk
list.
Man,
This is called the spot.
I'm not gonna harp on Honky Tonk Man all that much. I mean, I don't remember all that much about a lot of these people, so this is kind of like off the cuff. But
Well, I'm in favor of inducting him into the Fuck That Guy Club.
Yeah, I'm ready to make him the first like official. Like,
Yeah,
can we like actually get
even
like
worse than
break
Lanny
some
Poffo?
ground? Can we break
What
some
did
ground
he-
on an actual physical location for this and put Honky Tonk Man into this?
So, what
Well-
did Talk Man did to you do?
To YouTube? What?
what did he do with you?
Yeah, gee. What did he say?
Think you ordered some Jimmy John's or something?
What did the
Jimmy
Honky
John's. You say Pokemon? I think.
What did the Pokemon do with YouTube?
What did the Pokemon tube?
Where the Pokemon?
All right, Drew, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I'm gonna release Danny Davis. I'm gonna make a jobber out of Ron Bass. I'm gonna make a mid carder out of Honky Tonk Man. Hercules is getting my upper mid card spot, and Harley Race has got my main event. Because why the fuck not, right? Sure. So that takes us back to our original list where we ran down everybody except for the main eventer. So since we already did that stuff, give us a recap of what you've got and finish it off with your main eventer. Peyton, who is your release jobber for so forth going up to your main eventer?
All right. Well, my release was Jake Roberts because of his demons. Jobber was Brutus Beefcake because he's a jabron. My mid card, Jim Duggan, because the crowd digs him, but he's not quite there. Upper mid card, Ricky Steamboat, because he is awesome. And main event is, of course, going to be, oh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Fucking one of the biggest stars of all time. I mean, this is really the only guy who was able to pull that spotlight away from Hogan for a little bit and like sustain it. Yeah, I guess you could say Warrior did too, but that flopped real fast. Savage actually did it for like a year. So kudos to him.
Drew, what's your release going all the way up to main event?
Well, my released, since you asked, is the Beefcake because he's not so beefy. My jobber is the Ho Train that is not there yet, Jim Duggan. My mid card is the Snake that's a foam, Jim Roberts, my upper mid card.
Can you stop doing that thing where you talk?
My upper mid card is the Snake. No. It is the Macho Man Randy Savage, which leaves my main event to be Ricky the Steamboat. And the reason why I make him my Steamboat and my main event is mainly because, he's a dragon. He's a fucking steamboat. He could be a tugboat if you really want him to. And plus, dude, this guy's a fucking dragon. He's amazing at everything he does. It's the best there is, the best there was, it's the best there ever will be.
Oh my god.
And if you really think about it, he broke many barriers in the wrestling world. The fact that he only won an Intercontinental Championship in his time in WWE, that's fucking criminal. This guy should have been a 15-time World Heavyweight Championship. So
He should have been a championship.
A championship himself.
John Cena, winner of the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Championship.
All right, Tony,
It was-
transition while you can.
Transition to you, Wago. What's your list?
I was trying to say. Anyways, Wago, I will talk over you if you try this now. I will just say, this man is a million-time Hall of Famer.
Moo.
Kalen, that's a terrible impression. It's a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat main eventer.
Wago, what's
Do
your
my
list?
Undertaker impression next.
All right, Brutus the Beefcake is my release. Jim Duggan is my jobber. My mid-card is Ricky Steamboat. My upper mid-card is Jake Roberts. And the main event, a man that knew full well that Hogan was a fucking cunt, Randy Savage.
Kalen, you're next.
My released is Drew. My jobber is Wago. Oh, wait, that's not what we're doing? Okay. My released was Brutus, the Barber Beefcake. My jobber was
You have a
Hacksaw
girl
Jim
name.
Duggan. My mid card was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. My upper mid card was Jake the Snake Roberts. And in the main event, of course, Macho Man Randy Savage. What else can you really say? I mean, like Mike was saying, who was taking that spotlight away from Hulk Hogan at the time? Not too many people. Macho Man Randy Savage was able to do that. So, main event, Macho, the Randy Man Savage.
I'm going to make that a three-peat right here because Brutus the Barber Beefcake is my release. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's getting the jobber spot. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's my mid-carder. Jake the Snake Roberts is my upper mid-card. And Macho Man Randy Savage, of course, is my main eventer because there's very few amount of lists that I can think of where you would have Randy Savage on a call the spot and he wouldn't be either the main eventer or at least the upper mid-carder. And comparing him to these other kind of people, clear and obvious favorite for the main eventer. That guy was awesome. From start to finish, definitely towards the top there from his entire career, and he deserved every little bit of it. So that's it for Call the Spot. Make sure you leave those comments below. Tell us what your rankings would be for either one of them if you want to do that, both if you want to do it, and tell us what you would rank. I guess how we did this. Is it good enough that Drew did that, or should he be the released?
I don't think I should be.
We've
Guess
got
that's
one
not
more
one
thing to
minute.
take care of for this episode, and that's going to be the Fantasy League in Part 5. Stay tuned for that. Click on it if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you.